We rolling. We are rolling. Episode one, season one, episode three. Top of the day. Top of the day. Freestyling. Freestyling. So I was just thinking to myself, right? I'm like, what is a generational curse? So I asked my friend ChatGPT, and generational curses are basically patterns of sin, consequences, or spiritual bondage that seem to repeat across generational timelines. These patterns can affect behavior, relationships, health, finance, or spiritual life. Ain't that crazy? Like generations of a pattern or a sin across generation to generation to generation. That's serious. That is serious. So who's gonna break that? How do we break that generational curse, right? Because I feel like generational curses are spiritual. I think it's a form of spiritual warfare, you know, and a stronghold, right? A stronghold that we pass on to our kids, and our kids pass on to their kids, and the kids pass on to their kids. Serious, like so many different examples of that, right? Um, what I think it is, I think it might be spiritual though. Now the spiritual is unseen, right? So people won't even know that it's a curse, or people won't even know that it's spiritual, basically, right? Doing a little research here and there, I like to do different things at once, jack of all trades, whatever. And we battle not with flesh and blood. We battle not with flesh and blood. So if you're looking for a human type shit, it's not gonna happen. Battle not with flesh and blood, meaning it's unseen. You battle not with flesh and blood. This is flesh and blood, basically. So you're not gonna see it. It's unseen. It's hidden, which means it's spiritual, right? So we battle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual. Wickedness in high places, principalities, you know. And another verse on Proverbs 3 is like, lean not on your own understanding, right? Lean not on your own understanding. Basically, whatever you're thinking, you're not gonna understand what's going on. You feel me? Because it's spiritual, right? So it also says the weapons for this kind of warfare is not carnal. Carnal means physical. It's not physical. So everything is basically spiritual, right? Which is a whole nother topic for people, right? Because that's a different realm, right? But by putting on your armor, you can be prepared for things like this. And a way to break strongholds. It's a whole list. Fasting, getting more knowledge on spiritual warfare, which will take research and biblical studies. Um, but these are basically these spiritual low vibrational entities that's been lingering in families for generations that cause chaos and disruption, and they want to keep people in those lower vibrations. These are the strongholds that need to be broken, which will take fasting, prayer, biblical study and all that, right? But it's serious. And I feel like you know it'll take a lot of practice and prayer to break these generational curses, because it's not easy. However, let me give you an example of like a generational curse. Like maybe some people don't get married in certain families. Some people have a sexual addiction. Some people have a drug addiction. Some people have a porn addiction. Some people have a drinking addiction. It could be several things, right? That linger in people's families, like you know, and they're like, oh, his dad did it, or her mom is like that, her mom's mom is like that, or his dad's like that, or his brother is, they just linger in families, and it gets passed on to the generation up under them, and then the kids think it's a good thing, and then the kids think it's something, and then they all say, oh, my mom did it, my dad did it, so it's cool, and basically it's like a curse. Anyway, um, that's that. Uh, so some people can understand that that's a form of a generational curse. But somebody has to step up and break that. Who's it going to be, basically? Who's going to step up and break that, basically? That's the question. Anyway, Biblical Twist podcast, we rolling. It's getting warmed up. Just want to talk a little bit about spiritual warfare and the damage it can do on relationships, marriages, finances, your career. Spiritual warfare can damage people in so many places, right? Uh, However, there's only one way to break that. Only one way to break that. And that's by putting on the whole spiritual armor and going to battle. Over and out.